I guess I've been watching videos on YouTube a little bit more now that I've posted some videos. And I happened to watch Twisted Mess's Tidal Wire again, and I realized that I've never made it. Now, back when I watched it almost 2 months ago, I was like, man, I need some ribbon wire to try that. So, of course, I ordered in 0.5 ribbon to make staple coils and all that. And I blown through, 300 feet of that and never made the tidal wire. But I have 0.8. We're going to try and see how it comes out. And use 32 gauge nichrome 80. So what I'm looking to do is make, a good coil, probably a single coil for a mech mod. So when I'm on the go or something like that, when I come in at 0.2 to 0.16, somewhere in that range. So I guess we'll get started. After I take a vape, of course. Vaping the last of what I got left of Bonnie and Clyde's juices I got last week. Got 5 30 mils, actually 6 30 mils. And this is all I have left since last Saturday of the ice cream. So waiting for more because it's really good stuff. But I figure I'd give a shout out to Bonnie and Clyde. Go to www.vapecolorado.com to order yourself some today. Can't go wrong. All natural, organic. You get Max VG. It's just a really good juice. So I guess what we're going to do is you need to pull out 4 pieces of 32 gauge. What I like to do is when I take it off the spool is I'm going to pull out, I guess, 2 or 3 lengths of the roll. But what I'm going to do is hold it tight and stretch it until you feel it stretch, and then it straightens itself right out. So do that 4 times. Move this shit over so maybe you can see what I'm doing. I'm still learning how to do all this filming stuff. Not used to it, but enough of my excuses. Four pieces of 32 gauge. Now what we're going to do is twist these 4 pieces together. Doesn't really matter which direction you go, but just remember which way you go, because you have to wrap the ribbon wire the opposite. And let me remind you, this is the first time I'm attempting to do this build, so we'll see if it turns out alright. What I'm going to do is just take it, instead of tying it in a knot like Twisted does, I'm just going to see if it works to bend it back on itself here. To put it in the chuck. Looks like they're all in there tight, so that's good. Just going to cut these even on the end. Just makes it easier to keep track of. Slide my hand down it multiple times. Each time you run your hand down wire, especially if you're working with like ribbon wire, you'll notice it's like it almost trains it to lay together and flat. It's pretty neat. So, at least it is to me. So I'm going to make sure all four grip tight after I get the slack out here. Can't have slack. Twist to look like shit. What I'll do is, now I got the slack out, I'll pull here at the pliers and see if any of them come out, which they don't, so now I'm good to go. I'm going to do this clockwise. With twisting wire, you got to let it contract and your hand over, just hold slight pressure on it. And after it stops contracting, that's about when I'll stop. Or if it breaks off in the chuck, which works too. So cut the end off here. Take the broken end off, out the chuck. So what I'm going to do next is pull out a piece of ribbon wire just a little bit longer than this wire here. Ribbon wire you can stretch it and let it fall flat too. 0.8's a little bit more difficult. So we'll see how this 0.8 does. It's a little bit wide. We'll see, the great thing about ribbon wire is you can wrap it around another wire and it will stay in place. So what we're going to do is wrap it around the back of this twisted 32. Oops. I'm also going to reverse my drill now so I don't forget. I'll spin it the opposite direction of what you twisted the 32. And what that'll do is wrap tightly around the 32 while allowing the 32 to spread so you get the extra juice channels. Just take another vape before I get started. Alright, just going to run my hand down. Make sure there's slacks out of this ribbon wire. I'm going to wrap it at the very end. Just kind of hold it in place while I grip it with the pliers. Sure the slacks out. And we're going to twist it the other way. And we're going to let it contract as well. And once the whole thing stops spinning and only a certain area does, we'll stop. Okay. It's pretty neat. I guess that's why they call it tidal wire, because it almost looks like tidal wave. Let's go a little bit further. Oh, I guess we were done. Alright. So what he does is he'll wrap this in parallel, so what I'm going to do is cut it in half. So just eyeball it. And I've also seen him twist it, line it up, try to line it up in the grooves of the other one. That's what we're going to go for. When I wrap parallels, as I've said before, I like to do it in my vise. So I'm going to place these in there with them kind of interlocked to each other. And then I'm going to change the camera, see if I can get you a better view. It looks pretty good. Actually, I think I'm going to stop it and do a part 2. I'm going to run out of time.